Could Ernest Jones actually leave the Rams before the season? We're going to get into this. Before we dive into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogen, and let's get started right away. So I was golfing today, and yes, I saw your DMs. When I say my DMs are open, you guys definitely took advantage of that. Oh my Lord, did I have DMs today on Instagram, Twitter. Hey Jake, where's the video? What's going on? I was kind of processing it while I'm golfing. I got an alert about Ernest Jones, and the whole report was Jeremy Fowler of ESPN tweeted out, sources, Rams have granted linebacker Ernest Jones IV and his agents permission to seek a trade. So we're going to explain, we're going to get into all this. I want to also make mention, because I keep forgetting, you guys can basically listen to any video that I make on this channel on all podcast platforms. It's Jake ELLENBOGEN Live. So definitely go and search that on podcast platforms, wherever you get your podcasts, and sign up today if you want to listen to this just audio, and for whatever reason you can't watch it video. Okay, Ernest Jones, very key, critical, important player in a contract year. Once again, we're seeing both sides had discussed an extension. There's been no progress made. We're seeing the best blitzing inside linebacker, one of the best young linebackers in all of football, now being granted to seek a trade. And this freaks me out. It freaks a lot of other people out. I don't know who's at fault. I don't know if it's a mutual thing. I will point out Ernest Jones, in a now deleted tweet, basically came out and said, I didn't request a trade. So this could very well end up being that, look, the Rams, they want to move on from Ernest Jones after the season, and Ernest Jones wants to be there. And the agent is stepping in and basically saying, well, Ernest doesn't, there's no point of Ernest playing here if we already know that there's not going to be a future here. So I will say this. I'm going to make this very clear. I think this team will win the Super Bowl. But do I still think they win the Super Bowl if they lose Ernest Jones? Well, that remains to be seen. Ernest Jones is not just a guy. He's a third-round pick that they drafted that has turned into quite the player, something special, a leader, okay? And I'm not okay with the idea of just trading this guy away like he's nothing. And I already know, because we've already seen the trades, they're never good. It's not like you're getting anything good in return. Ernest Jones is in a contract year, so the Rams would probably end up being okay with getting a fifth-round pick. No, that would not be good. Ernest Jones is vital to this team, one of the best players on this team, especially one of the best players on the defensive side of the ball. And I think this would be a crippling move, if you ask me. This would be crippling, okay? I don't know what to make. I mean, I'm very excited for Omar Speights, but is Speights going to start? Is Roseboom going to start? Is Hummel going to start? See, you start to really figure out how much somebody is into a player when you start having those hypothetical questions and people are like, they kind of balk at the idea. And if you're balking at that idea, it's totally normal, because Ernest Jones is, in my opinion, turning into an all-pro level player. So this brings us back to the organizational failure that has been at linebacker. This is not an organization that's known for handling their linebackers well. Okay, London Fletcher, a guy that they found in UDFA, an absolute stud, one of the best linebackers, in my opinion, ever. I know people from those teams with London Fletcher that say London Fletcher, the moment he left, the moment they didn't pay him, that was the heartbeat of the defense that left with him. And that a lot of people contribute, a lot of people on those teams, and I won't name names, a lot of people on those teams contribute the loss of London Fletcher to the fall of the Rams. Now, maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but I think it's fair. Then you look at Alec Ogletree. Regardless of how you feel about him, he got paid. But then after a year, they're like, yep, he's gone. We're going to trade him to the Giants for like nothing. And then Corey Littleton, you find him in UDFA and you don't pay him. And now I understand he hasn't gone around the league and just absolutely killed it the way he did with the Rams, but look at how he was with the Rams. Then you have Bobby Wagner. I don't know what the deal was there, but they signed a 5-year deal with Bobby Wagner. He only plays 1 year. It's an absolute joke of a year. Not his fault, but a lot of injuries. 2022 does not go over well. He plays all the games. And what does he get in return? Well, they basically want to get rid of him. So Ernest Jones, is he following in that footstep? And it looks like he is, and that's a little concerning to me. I'm going to say this. There is a pattern here. If you find a guy, if you find a UDFA linebacker who's really good, just pay him, please, for the love of God. Alec Ogletree was a first-round talent, okay? Bobby Wagner was a well-known free agent. But Ernest Jones is a third-round pick. I thought he should have been paid last year because if you pay them early, you get the discount, right? You get the discount because these contracts are constantly going up. London Fletcher, Corey Littleton, yeah, you should have paid those guys as soon as you could have. I don't know why they waited so long with Littleton. I don't know why they waited so long with London Fletcher. But I will tell you this. It matters. It absolutely matters. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. If Ernest Jones is not a part of this roster in 2024, well, then the Rams better be trading him for another player that's going to be. Okay? I don't want to see no 5th round, 6th round, pick swaps. I don't want to see any of that. Okay? I don't even want to see a 2nd rounder or 3rd rounder. I want to see Ernest Jones, or you're trading for somebody that's equal value, maybe even a little bit below Ernest Jones, and that way you're at least replacing him. If there's no replacement here, this is just making your team worse. And for what? I mean, he's a relatively cheap contract this year. And it seems to me if Ernest Jones isn't requesting a trade, and by the way, it's been well known, it's been documented that this hasn't gone anywhere. They've been in discussions and there's been no there's been nothing, no progress. You know what Ernest Jones has said? He said he'd play out the rest of his year. So it's either the agent, something changed with Ernest Jones, the agent has stepped up and said, this is how I want to approach this, which I hope not, but you know how agents are. Or it's the Rams saying, you know what, we can't come to a deal. Let's do what's best for this player. Now you have to understand something, okay? I love the way the Rams do most of their business, the way it's conducted. But the way they pay players, I don't like their trades. They have a few things that, I have a gripe with. And this is definitely going to be one of those things. I don't really think they can afford this right now. Unless they look at Omar Speights as he's as good, if not better than Ernest Jones, and they have what they believe, because I think he's a stud, but I think he is a potential future starter, not necessarily, hey, week 1, Omar, go out there and ball out, you're our guy. That's a little much. But if you really feel that way, fine. I just think when it comes to Ernest Jones here, getting rid of a leader that had 145 tackles last year, best blitzing linebacker in football, one of the best young inside linebackers, there has to be more to just this, right? We have to know more. And again, it's permission to seek a trade. So what I don't want to see is another Jalen Ramsey situation where they get like nothing for one of the best cornerbacks in the last decade, and they get Hunter Long in a 3rd round pick. I don't want to see that. Okay? I don't want to see them. And this is also another issue I have with this, because now that you've basically announced to the world, hey, we're trading away Ernest Jones, well, we've granted him an opportunity to seek a trade. Well, now other teams are like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to give up that much because clearly they want to get rid of him. It reeks in just this is a mistake. I hope this doesn't derail their season. Yes, their offense will still be great, but this is the type of thing, that can really hurt a locker room. This is the type of thing that can really kill your momentum. They have a lot of it going into, this season. And I just really, my biggest gripe about this is that we're just now hearing about it. Why is this just now a thing? I mean, I don't understand how you can run a team. Like, if the Rams truly started this and they're the ones that are like, all right, go and seek a trade, then they're at fault here, because, I mean, the season is fast approaching. Who on earth is replacing him? Who? And that's where it comes down to. I just know there's going to be some stupid trade if they get rid of him. It's not anything to be excited about. Now, I also want to make this clear. I'm not against not paying Ernest Jones. I'm well aware it's a business, and I'm well aware that, you don't want to bid against yourself. My concern is that Ernest Jones is a key and critical component to winning a Super Bowl, okay? And we saw the whole Matthew Stafford deal and how, oh, well, he's basically like the Rams are kind of feeling it out whether he'll be back next year and, so forth. And it's like, maybe let's take a beat here and understand something. Ernest Jones makes you a better football team. Without Ernest Jones, you are a worse football team. If your goal is to win the Lombardi Trophy, getting rid of him now makes no sense. I would rather lose him for nothing in the offseason. Of course, that'd be a compensatory pick. Than do this. This is stupid. Unless the agent has pressured this, unless we're not getting the full story, unless Ernest Jones, who, since deleted his comment saying he didn't request a trade, unless he truly wants out and the Rams don't have a choice, this is a stupid move. If the Rams are initiating this, this is dumb. This isn't Van Jefferson last year, who wasn't getting playing time and they had moved on to other guys. This is your starter. This is one of your captains, one of your leaders. He wore the C last year. And you're telling me now that you're like, yeah, you can seek a trade. It's August 25th. The season starts in 2 weeks. Why is this just now surfacing? And so that is my gripe. That's my concern. It's why I'm frustrated. It's why I think other people should be frustrated. Because to be honest with you, I put a lot of time into covering this team. You put a lot of time into, buying your tickets ahead of time, buying your, Game Pass or whatever the hell you need to buy nowadays, NFL Plus and, Sunday ticket and jerseys, memorabilia, all that, right? The least that could happen is just at least let us know, hey, are you trying to win a Super Bowl? Like, is that like, because I would assuming this team is trying to win a Super Bowl. I am assuming that this team can win a Super Bowl this year, but losing Ernest Jones, almost what it seems like by choice, and what we won't know until we know. But if this is by choice and the Rams are just like, yeah, let's just get it over with. No, I would rather have you ride it out, get nothing in return in the offseason and lose him and have this season to make a run at the Lombardi, then get rid of him now, have a nice pick next year, whatever, and you don't have Ernest Jones in the middle of your defense. I just don't like this. I have one theory if it is the Rams initiating this. I know he's been banged up in camp. So if I was playing devil's advocate again for like the Ram side, I'd say, okay, well, he's been banged up in camp. He's had some injury concerns. Maybe they're like, yeah, we're not even convinced he could stay healthy. Okay. I still don't love this. I have a lot of issues with this. And I wasn't a fan of, I felt like when you knew Corey Littleton was a starter, you should have signed him that moment. And I hate all the time because you always get people that say, well, there's no way an agent is going to sign a deal. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. Corey Littleton's agent would have been happy to sign a long-term deal in LA based on the way Corey fit into that defensive scheme. He would have signed a long-term deal had they offered it early on when he first became a starter. But they waited, and then all of a sudden the money goes up. No, we can't afford him. Well, no duh, you can't afford him because you waited. I mean, we've seen it go the opposite way in baseball. Wander Franco, most notably, with the Rays. I don't have to tell you what he got into, but he had a whole bunch of legal issues essentially, and they paid him super early, like 22, 23 years old, gave him like a 13-year deal, and now they're on the hook for, well, I don't think they're on the hook for all that money because I think he kind of forfeits that. But essentially they, put all their eggs in the basket to make him the face of the franchise, and then it kind of blew up in their face in a sense. But this is a little different, okay? Ernest Jones, you could kind of tell what he was going to be. I think they should have gotten this deal done 2, maybe even last year. I just don't like this. I'm hoping there's a resolution. And I'll say this, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a resolution, because I wouldn't be surprised if this was thrown out there to create some urgency. I wouldn't be surprised if this was thrown out there to be a test to see how much Ernest Jones and camp wants to be a Ram. This is done quite often, okay? This stuff happens. How many times have we, it doesn't happen every time, but how many times have we seen a player who immediately goes from permission to seek a trade, looks for a trade, and then decides to come back to the negotiation table, and then you get an extension? It happens. I mean, I think it's basically going to happen with Brandon Ayuk in, San Francisco. That's what it sounds like. So, we'll see there. But, this stuff happens, and I'm well aware it's a business and all that. But for the people that are upset, the people that are concerned, you have every reason to be concerned. This would be a colossal mistake, especially because you also don't have Aaron Donald. So in a year where you're trying to go to the Super Bowl, you lose Aaron Donald to retirement. Now Ernest Jones, the big, leader in the middle of your defense, you're losing him. That's a lot of pressure to put on Roseboom, Troy Reeder, Jake Hummel, Omar Spates. I don't care who you are. That's a ton of pressure. And that's a lot to just do right now. So obviously I'm not ignorant to the idea. Just because we heard it on August 25th doesn't mean that the Rams didn't say this a while ago. Doesn't mean that the Rams haven't had this thought process. Doesn't mean that the Rams haven't been already trying to look for opportunities or other different ways to approach this. And furthermore, I will say this last thing. This could mean, and this could be why the Rams end up ultimately keeping 6, maybe even 7 safeties, because they look at guys like Quentin Lake. They look at guys like John Johnson. They look at guys like Cam Kinchins and Cameron Curl, and they see guys that, okay, this guy could pretty much be our linebacker. Okay, linebacker safety hybrids exist. We've seen Mark Barron in the past, obviously with the Rams, so they exist. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe this is going to be a different defense and they realize we don't need to put a premium into linebacker because we have these guys in the back end of our secondary that can kind of be interchangeable, where there's, going to be packages where we could have 4 safeties out there and 2 of them are playing backer. So I don't know. Again, I don't want to just make up, stuff. This is just kind of like a theory I had because I like to try to, see all avenues. But make no mistake about it, this is still a fantastic player. This is a guy that is one of the best at his position. This is a guy that means so much to this defense and this team, and would be an absolute mistake to trade him away if the Rams are the ones that are basically pushing for this. If Ernest Jones or his camp are pushing for this and we're not getting the full story, then fine. I understand that's the way it is, and if that's the case, I know a lot of this video has been me essentially defending his value, but if Ernest Jones doesn't want to be a part of a last year run to try to win a Super Bowl, then fine, that's on him. But to be honest with you, I don't think he was basically saying that he'd be fine playing on the last year of his deal if he wasn't fine playing on the last year of his deal. So those are my thoughts. I know you guys wanted a video. Sorry it took so long. Had the Yankees game, of course, but mainly because I was golfing all day is why I couldn't do a video. I am also running on literally 1 hour of sleep. That is a true story. Because that 53-man roster projection I put out was I recorded that about 5 a.m. So, yeah, I'm pretty tired, but I want to get this out because I know you guys really have been asking for me, and I appreciate that, by the way. So cool to see, my mentions were blown up to smithereens. My notifications, I was tagged in all these posts about Ernest Jones. When's the video? Jake, where are you? Why is Jake quiet? And I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. So thank you guys so much. And you guys know I'm always on top of this stuff, but if I'm not, just know that I probably am not near my computer, so I can't be. I try my best to be on top of it, but I did have a tee time scheduled for 7:54 a.m. today, and yep, that's right, barely got any sleep. Went out, played golf, didn't get back until, after 1 or whatever. And I've been exhausted. I've been kind of waiting for stuff to come out because it's been long enough where I was like, I'm not going to just drop a video. I want to actually see, okay, do we get anything? And we had that, little piece of Ernest Jones tweeting that out and then deleting it. So then I was like, okay, I have enough. And I did talk to some other people. I reached out around the league about this, people that I trust, and there really wasn't much. I think this is kind of a shock to a lot of people. People really don't know where this is going to go. I talked to one person who said that, they don't really buy this and they think that he ends up with LA and this is just a negotiation tactic. I had another person tell me that they wouldn't be surprised if he was traded and reunited with Raheem Morris in Atlanta. That would be interesting, so we'll see what ends up happening, but that's going to do it. You guys, as always, can check this out, on all your podcast platforms, like I mentioned, on audio. I also want to give a shout out to our memberships because we did just we overhauled the memberships, and I just wanted to make that clear for anybody that was curious about that. We did, we talked about that on the live stream, so I wanted to do that. And, right now, if you wanted to be a member for the channel, there's going to be all different perks and what have you. Right now, we just renamed them all. So Rookie is the $1 membership. Essentially, it's loyalty badges, custom emojis, and priority reply to comments. Comments are going to get crazy. This channel's growing like crazy, so I can't guarantee I'm going to reply to every comment. But obviously, if you're a member, I will do my damnedest to reply to you. Starter, $2.99. It's member shout outs, early access to new videos. Pro Bowl is $4.99 tier. It's the auto follow back on all social media platforms. You just have to DM me and let me know and show me proof. All Pro, members only live streams. Okay, we're gonna do one members only live stream a month on the All Pro for $6.99. MVP is $9.99. Priority call-ins. When I do call-ins, I'm not going to be able to get to everybody because it's getting that big. So you will have first dibs if you want to be a part of that MVP tier. And last but not least, the Hall of Fame tier, which is $19.99. People have been asking me, hey, can I game with you? Would you do that? Would you put that in a membership? So I decided to. The Hall of Fame one is $19.99 a month, and that is the exclusive gaming sessions with me. At least one a month, but I'll see if I can do more as well. So those memberships are on the channel. If you're interested, check them out. You can hit the join button, or in the description below, you can click on the link, and that's it. I'll see you guys soon, and hopefully we have a resolution to this sooner than later. Take care, folks. Later. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.